All right. So this, by the way, part of my presentation, I'm a TED speaker, so part of my presentation is part of my TED Talk. And the first thing I want to say today, it is really, really cool to be here in Latvia. You truly have so much opportunity. And the thing that gets me is what Dagny said. You're so modest. You don't talk about what you have. It's crazy. You have all these bright people that want to change the world, and you don't talk about it. 2 days ago, there was a European delegation that we were asked to host out in Silicon Valley. So 15 members of the EU, at the bequest of the ambassador, Latvian ambassador to the US, and the trade counselor came out. And part of it is just talking about the amazing things. The fourth fastest internet in the world. You've traditionally been a hub for trading. You have an amazing economy that can grow, but we've got to talk about it. It's not one of these things that we can be modest. So today, part of it is that. So I lived in Riga all summer. So I wanted to see what it was like. I wanted to see what the Spirit's like here. Now I'm in Palo Alto. I live back in Palo Alto. By the way, so I have a new company. I'm co-founder of Propi, and my partner, one of my partners is Latvian, and lives in Riga. Okay. So the only way to do great work is to truly love what you do. How many of you do in startups? Raise your hands right now. Yeah, I see somebody going like, well, I think I am doing it, but I'm not really sure. Maybe today, yeah? Do you love your startups? Yeah? I want to hear you. Come on. Woo! Come on, a little bit louder. Yeah, that's it. The normal Latvian thing would be, woo. So I'm in Palo Alto. I've done, part of my story. We took a little Israeli company called Click Software, nothing. And that company was just privatized for over $400 million, $438 million. I've done 9 startups. I've been doing startups since 21. I've been in it over 30 years. I think that what I've learned is that you have challenges in your life. You'll have challenges as a startup, but it's overcoming those challenges because it's like a roller coaster, right? And the thing is, if you get down here, you never get back up. So what you got to do is pull each other back up again. That's what you have to do. So the Dennises, the Daniels, the Evas, you all got to pull yourselves back up. And it's great. Now, here's the other thing. People talk about failure. Let me tell you what my impression of failure is. When I go down a road and you're driving your car and you're going to Marupe and you make the wrong turn and you have to turn around and go down another road, is that a failure? No. That's trying to correct. That's not a failure. So come on, we got to look at things differently. These are some of the startups. We've actually done 237 startups. 35% of our startups have raised money. This is in Russia, right? And by the way, some of my Latvian students that came to Russia are here. Passion. You've got to feel it. You've got to enjoy it. If you can't convey that to your customers, to your clients, to people that are going to invest in you, they aren't going to invest. They're not going to buy your product. They want to grab it out of your hands, just like Steve Jobs used to do. People were so excited. Remember, I'll never forget this. He said, I have something to announce today. He said, but first let me tell you something. I can never figure out what this little pocket here is in my jeans. Never figure it out. But I know what it is now. That's the place for the iPod Nano. It was incredible, right? People are going, yay, this is amazing. You want to enchant them. You want to make them feel it. You want to make them passionate about it. Optimism. Oh, this is half empty. Woe is me. You've got to look at things differently. The glass is half full. Because you convey, just like my friend Cameron, my mentor Cameron, you convey energy to people. And if you say to people that the glass is half empty, you start to turn negative energy. When you talk to Mark Zuckerberg, you talk to Elon Musk, you talk to Cameron, you talk to them, and one of the things you quickly understand is they think very positively, right? The glass is half full. You have to think like that. You have to get that positive energy going. In order to do a startup, it's not easy, believe me. There are ups and downs, but it's also a lot of fun. Visualization. What I have to do is I have to be able to paint pictures of where we're going to be, what we're going to do, who we're going to be. We've got to each be able to convey those pictures to people that are going to invest in us, to people that are going to buy products from us. Because if we can't paint those visual pictures, they're never going to do it. Never. You got to visualize where you want to be. I mean, again, you've got 1.8 million people. You've got to be. I was here this summer. I got to tell you, this is one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my life. And I'm out in California, and I have a house in Palm Beach, Florida. This place is amazing. But I never hear people talk about, oh, you know, it gets cold in the winter. I don't hear like, wow, Yermala is amazing. You know? I took my bike and I rode to Yermala. I can tell you it's great. Although Dennis went faster than me. And it's truly amazing, but you don't sell it. You don't, you know, and it's incredible. When I talk to Latvians around the world, I met somebody at the airport the other week, last week, and I was coming down through, and I said, where are you from? I'm from Riga. Why did you leave Riga? Because I couldn't find the right kind of job. I didn't make enough money. And I'm listening, do you like Riga? I love Riga. I don't want to be here. I want to be in Riga. I love the place. My family's there. You can create those jobs. You understand, this time in history is unprecedented. I'm the co-chairman of the American Chamber of Commerce in Russia. Today, I'm still co-chair of AmCham, of the Innovation Technology Committee. With all the challenges taking place around the world, people are looking at places just like Riga to put their business. You understand, guys, this is the greatest time you could possibly have. People like Cameron, people like 500 startups want to invest money here. This is your time. I would think about how to make this place better, how to make it the best, how to talk about it. Talk about it. You know, when I'm in the Valley, so I brought your ambassador Razan and his wife Gunta came out, and I took him out for a whole day, and I introduced him to folks, top people from the Valley. And one of the things they came out with, this is really an opportunity for Latvia to grow. What is it about? So we have Silicon Valley to the Baltics. Why not the Baltics to Silicon Valley? This isn't rocket science, is it? Right? I mean, and I'm willing to help. I wrote the paper at Stanford University called Bilateral Technology Trade between the U.S. and Russia, which became the largest symposium between Russia and the United States in the year 2001, 2002. So I personally was involved in it. I can tell you it can be done. But each one of you are responsible for doing it. Each one of you have to own that responsibility. Every person in the room that wants to change it, every person that wants to get money has to be that person who does it. Every person that has a vision, that wants to do a startup and create the next Twitter, has to do it. Yeah, how big is the difference between success and failure? About that much. It's not much, but it's you that make that decision. And it needs to change. So if we look at it today, you know, we look at it, 90% of the current startups fail. It's about 95% in undeveloped places. But it doesn't have to be like that. Why? They fail because when you go to business school, Harvard Business School taught people how to manage. The first MBA program in the world. And I was an MBA professor. I can tell you directly. They don't teach you how to do entrepreneurship. They teach you how to be a great corporate manager. I'm going to be at Let Telecom. I'm going to be a manager, right? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But what they want to do, and it's happening more and more, people want to innovate. I met with Air Baltic, with the CEO. They need to innovate to be successful. You're the ones that are going to push it forward. The same skills you do a startup are the same skills you need to innovate. You push it. Each one of you. You say, no, I'm not going to do it. It'll be my friend Pavel. No, I'm not going to do it. It's you, all of you. So those skills are practical skills that each one of us got to take inside and internalize. When I did my first startup, my father said to me, "What's wrong with you, Gary? You got out of graduate school. Why don't you become a professor?" I don't want to be a professor, Dad. And so I did my first startup, and I actually built houses. I built 27 houses. And the first couple of my friends said, "You're crazy. What's wrong with you?" And then they were successful. I did $9 million in houses by 23. My friend said, "You're a genius. You're the smartest guy I know. You have the Midas touch." It was nothing changed. But I couldn't listen to them about the negativity. I had to reinforce a positive nature. It means surround yourselves. It's really cool that you're building an ecosystem of energy. That's here today. That's something you need to have to go forward, and that's something you got to spread throughout Latvia, spread throughout the Baltics. So, we own I'm co-founder of the most successful accelerator in the region, right? GVA LaunchGurus. But I can tell you directly the things that I found: connections and networking together. Getting out. Don't think just about Latvia, think about the rest of the world. I'll give you a direct example. Last week, I met with a friend of mine and our co-founder, Natalia, and my friend happened to be the original money behind the largest internet portal in China. And they happened to have a fund. And I said, "Hey, can you make a phone call?" "Yeah, sure, he's my best friend." Now, this is one of the wealthiest guys in China. And so he calls him up. We had a 7-hour meeting. 7-hour meeting. Can you imagine? Use those connections. Use those connections wisely. So, what I want to say is that you need to have passion. You have to be optimistic, really. You have to visualize where you're going to go. You got to have tools. The things at Tech Hub, all the programs that Startup Latvia, you've got to have those core skill sets. And you need to have international sales and marketing. It's one of the weakest challenges. It's a part that needs to be changed. You have to have those skill sets. So I would hire the best sales and marketing folks once you go out as founders and find out that it can sell. So with that, I got questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Gary, for your inspiration.
Thank you.